Hi everyone, welcome to Colette's Thermi Kitchen. My name is Colette Latriga. I'm a Thermomix consultant here in Australia, and if you're thinking of getting one of these, please reach out. I'd love to support you on your journey. So today we are still kind of looking at those staples, and we're looking at flatbread. Now, although it's made out of a couple of ingredients, I think flatbread does justify being a staple in the kitchen because it's a recipe that you should know, because it's something you can make to go with almost any kind of meal. Now, what I'm going to do today is show you how to make those flatbreads. Now, on Cookie Dough, which is our recipe platform, over 94,000 dishes now, absolutely incredible. There are lots and lots of flatbread recipes, so you can search flatbread and there will be recipes come up that you can follow step by step. Now for me, because I do make these quite a lot, what I like to do is just to keep it simple. And the simple little recipe that I use is one that always works out, and they taste amazing, so I'm really happy with them. Now there's only 2 ingredients that I use. Well, that's a lie, 3 ingredients that I use. The first one is flour. So I'm using self-raising flour. And just to keep things simple, self-raising flour. Now remember, if you've only got plain flour in the pantry, if you try and research it, there's so many different opinions, but what I found works really well for me is for every 100 grams of plain flour, you add 1 level teaspoon of baking powder to create your self-raising flour. So don't panic if you don't have self-raising flour. In fact, this is some that I've made up from plain and I keep stored because I do use it a fair bit. So self-raising flour, and remember that little ratio, 1 teaspoon of baking powder to every 100 grams of plain flour to create your own self-raising. And then I have yogurt. So you want a thickish yogurt, so this is just the homemade yogurt that I do. So anything like a Greek thick yogurt, if you're buying it, is absolutely perfect for this. You don't want it too runny because it's not going to work as well. And basically it's equal quantity, so you make as much as you want. So I'm working with 150 grams, which is what my normal kind of portion is, but I could up that to 250 if I wanted. And this is going to give me 8 smallish flatbreads, the size that I like them, which is about 16 centimeters. But of course you can actually make bigger ones, increase the quantity. So same amount of flour to yogurt, and then the only other item that we need is just a pinch of salt. Remember, salt is giving it flavour. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get actually we'll do this here. First thing I'm going to do is to add into the Thermomix the flour. Now that's 150 grams of self-raising flour that I'm using. And what I want to do is I want to get the Thermomix to sieve this for me. I want to make sure there's no bumps and it's all lovely and aerated. So the way we do that is we head into our turbo mode. My glasses on for this. Let's get rid of that one. Turbo mode. And all I need to do is maybe give it 3 1-second blasts. Oh, Colette. 1-second blasts. Turn this on. So what's that done is just fluffed it all up and aerated it and got rid of any, lumps and bumps that might be there. So pressing the home button. And that's also what I do with icing sugar. I love the fact that you never have to sieve icing sugar. That's beautifully aerated. All right, now to that 150 grams of self-raising flour, I'm going to add my 150 grams of Greek style yogurt, so, relatively thick. So equal parts flour to yogurt.
Yogurt.
We always have this debate. Is it yogurt or yogurt? I don't know. And then to that, I'm going to add a generous pinch of salt. Maybe a little bit more. All right. Now, that's all good. So all I need now is for the Thermomix to save me about 10 minutes standing here, combining it and mixing it all together. So to do that, I'm going to go into the modes. Look at all the modes that we have. And just in case, you have a Thermomix and you haven't been shown, you can rearrange these modes. So the ones that you use the most are on the top. So the way you do that is up here, you've got these 3 dots. 3 dots means there's more hiding behind there. So if I click on those 3 dots, I can edit the view. And let's say I wanted the scales to come first. I would select the scales and literally just move the arrow and then save it. But I like my scales to come second because my pre-clean is my most used. And then you basically come out. So you can arrange that so your most used items or modes are in view right at the top. So I need to find my dough mode, and I'm going to go for 1 minute. Just simply 1 minute, which is the equivalent to about
60 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, select the dough and turn the dial. I'm just going to grab a clean tea towel. Oh no, I have a clean tea towel. All right. Won't take long. Now, with rolling these, because obviously we need to roll them out, today I'm going to be using the roller from the mix shop, which I know so many of you have and love. And I have decided the thickness that I like is this 2 mil. So you can change the discs quite comfortably to whatever you like. So I've got the 2 mil size, which is the thickness I love for my flatbreads. But you can make these as thick as you want. And that's the benefit when you make your own flatbreads. You can dictate the size, you know the quality of the ingredients going in. And, you know, you've got to ask yourself, those flatbreads can last quite a few weeks in the bags from the shop. Some of them last months. What else is in them? I know, flour, yogurt, salt. I'm good. All right, so here we go, that's all done. So having a little look, that's the dough all nicely formed for me. So I'm just going to tip that out onto my thermomat. Probably my #1 item, I reckon. It's something I always tell my customers to grab because it's absolutely amazing. So just tipping it out, moving the screw, out comes that flatbread, just about. That last little bit out. Now it is a bit tacky, and that's quite normal. And what you do is you're going to grab some flour. Now, we do not want excess flour. That's why I use a little sprinkler. And all we want to do is just to bring this together quite nicely. And then what I would do normally, if I wasn't doing a live, is I would then pop this and let this sit for 5 minutes so it can go after it's been twirled around in the Thermomix. So just to help all that gluten form, that's going to just rest for 5 minutes. But I'm going to skip that step. What I'm going to do now is I have a pan, whatever size pan. If you've got a big griddle pan, which I normally do them on, I can't find mine at the moment. So I'm just using my little fry pan. And I'm going to put that on to medium-high. So I'm going to go number 8. And then while that's heating up and becoming nice and hot, what we're going to do is we are going to actually now shape this and cut it. So just with my bench scraper, I'm just going to chop this in half again. And then you can either have 4 big ones from this 150 gram portion, but I'm going to go for a smaller one. So I'm going to chop these even smaller. Okay, so let's just move these to one side, just into a little ball, pop them over here. Don't worry too much about shaping at this stage. Excellent. Now if you're making your own yogurt in your Thermomix, you can imagine just how little these flatbreads would cost to make. Now, what we want to do is we just want to keep this clear of any little bits of dough that have separated. And then I'm going to pop it in the center circle of my ring, and then I'm just going to flatten that out into a nice circle. And then I'm going to get my flour and just make sure I've got some flour down and flour on top, and then I start to roll these little bad boys. So just rolling these out. good idea to flour your pin as well. Just turning them around, flattening them out. So, of course, because I'm using this rolling pin, it's going to give me beautiful flatbread, which is going to be the same width all the way around, which is 2 mils, because that's what I select. Okay. Now, with this flatbread, you can now just, once you've rolled it, you can basically pop that into your pan. So that's all nicely done. Now you'll see how mine is coming back a little bit. That's because I didn't rest it for that 5 minutes. And you'll find that yours will actually roll just a little bit kinder. But that's absolutely fine. Now you want to try and get rid of that excess flour. And one of the things that I'm going to do today is I'm going to just flavour this. You can just leave this as it is. And what you can actually do is, actually, will I flavour it? Andrew, shall I flavour it? He said, yeah, flavour it. Alright, so to flavour this up, all I'm going to do is, you can do a little bit of olive oil.
Your pan's going to be very hot.
Yeah, that's why I want it nice and hot. Bring that to 7. It's going to have a little bit garlic. Now, if you didn't want to flavour this, you wanted to keep this just as per normal, all you would do is you would just, so this is just some of my garlic paste that I made the other night. I always have in the freezer. Just turning that round and a pinch of salt. Alright. A little bit more salt. Just giving that a bit of a mix. Now I'm going to run and put this back into the fridge because we shouldn't leave it out. Now you could quite happily just go ahead and pop this in the pan just like that for those traditional kind of flatbreads. But I'm just going to just pop a little bit of this, not too much because I don't want it too oily, just a little bit on here. And then I'm going to literally pop that into the pan. That will only take literally a couple of minutes to cook. And then while that cooks, you will go on and actually do the next few. I'm not going to do that now, we're just going to roll with that one. Pop that to one side. Try and make it nice and tidy. I'll put these in here for later. Shake them for later. Okie dokie. Looking good. So you want that medium hot pan. It went into a hot pan. You don't have to put an oil on it. You can cook it in a dry pan. If you want, you can rub a bit of oil in the pan. The other thing is when it comes out, you could then rub on a little bit of oil and flavourings or a compound butter. So butter with you know, some herbs and things like that inside, it would be absolutely lovely. So let's have a look. So what you'll see is happening, can you see these little bubbles that are forming on top? So that's giving me the indication that it's cooking underneath. I'm just going to grab my spatula, sorry honey, and I'm just going to take a little peek underneath, maybe just about 30 seconds more before I flip it. It's going to be so good. Now while that's happening, what I need to do is just to quickly whip up something else. Alright, so I'm just going to flip this one here now. And you can see there it's starting to get those lovely marks. You don't want it really, well, you can have it as well done as you want to, but that's lovely. Sometimes when you're cooking, if you use excess flour, you'll find that you'll get that flour kind of cooking by itself in the pan. Just get a cloth and just wipe that out. You don't want that because it gives this floury film on top of your flatbreads, which isn't kind of the nicest. So we are having for dinner tonight, very simply, just a little Greek dish, which is rather nice, very simple. I'm just going to find that recipe. Let's go to my week.
I thought we were having lasagna.
I changed my mind because I needed to use these up. So this is the recipe I'm using today. We'll have lasagna tomorrow, Andrew. He's disappointed now. So what I've actually done is I've done basically the recipe. I just need to whip up the tzatziki, so I'm going to the step where I need to go. Clean the bowl, which I have done. Let's have a little look. Nearly there. I always forget with this induction here, which is really good, if I take the pan off it for a couple of seconds, that the hob turns off, so I forgot to put it back on. But normally it will take about a minute each side, so it's pretty good. So I'm just going to whip up the tzatziki to go with this. So 3 garlic cloves, just doing as I'm told, like a good girl. Insert this. Of course you could use your minced garlic if you wanted to. Pop your measuring cup on, hit next. Next, just scraping down.
Can the flatbread be frozen?
Yeah, you can freeze flatbread, and the way that I freeze it is I love to roll it and then put the rolls in the bag in the freezer.
You mean before they're cooked?
After they're cooked, and then to just defrost them in the fridge, and then all you need to do is just either warm them up in the pan again or pop them into the oven, just to give them that, just warm them through. And I got to say, you know, when you buy your flatbreads from the shop, we know, you know, it's got stuff in there we don't want, but sometimes they're really doughy and they're not so bendy, but here you can get them just the way that you like, which is awesome. So cucumbers going in, so cucumber going in there, hitting next. And that's going to mix those up together. I mean, how easy is it to make something like a tzatziki? 4 seconds. My flatbread is just about done. Hitting next. And then some yogurt's going to go in.
So hi Christine from the UK. Whereabouts are you in the UK? Now what is the temperature?
Yeah, that's what the temperature's like in the UK at the moment. Okay, just giving that a bit of a stir through.
It's a bit cooler here today on the Gold Coast. We've just come off the back of a couple of days of 36 degrees and very humid. Today we're about 28, but still humid.
Salt, pepper. And just again mixing that through. This is a clean tea towel. So once your flatbreads are done, all you're going to do is pop them into a towel, and then you just kind of pop that up, and this is what's going to keep them nice and soft for you. And then you do the next few. But normally when I'm doing them, I've got a big grill pan that I put onto my hob, and I'll do a few at a time. If you haven't got that, what you can do is to basically do a few, maybe 2 fry pans. It doesn't take too long. I'll get the kids to do it even better. Right, so my tzatziki is done. So let me just have a little look and a taste test at this one. I haven't actually made this recipe before.
So Chrissy says 42 degrees here. Where is here? 42 degrees. We've had the aircon running non-stop the last couple of days here.
I know, it's been crazy. Now, just for my taste, I'm going to be just pimping this up with just a little bit of sugar and just a squeeze of a lemon juice. But obviously you can taste and you can do as you prefer. But I think it needs it for me. Squeeze of lemon juice.
We've got Vivian from Turkey saying hi.
Wow, I don't think we've had anyone from Turkey before. That's exciting. All right, so that's looking good. Okay, another one, clean spoon. Nice. Okay, so let's get dinner organised. So what I've got here, just a little platter. I've just got some some leaves. I've got, so just having a look at our lovely flatbread. Can you see how beautiful that is? Just lovely. And of course it's got that little bit of oil and garlic flavour on it. I have got some that I did before just to stock up. So I did these, probably this morning. And just to show you, I've just warmed them up in the oven, but I've probably nibbled at some, I've nibbled at some. But just to show you how lovely they are and how soft and flexible they are, they're just absolutely delicious. So I'm going to pop some flatbreads down there for us to enjoy.
Chrissy from Flanders in Belgium, the home of my favourite beers.
What's your favourite beer, Andrew?
Stella.
Oh, Stella Artois, okay. So flatbreads down, and I just need a nice little dish.
Right, it's Belgium. It's got so many good beers and so many good chocolates.
Oh, Belgian chocolate, couture chocolates, yum, very nice. And then I just got these little kind of sausagey things, which are just delicious.
What are they?
It's just like little beef. So it's part of that recipe. They're really quite nice, and so I made the whole recipe. I've frozen half of them in the freezer, and then what you do is you basically serve them with some of the tzatziki.
So what are they made of? The sausages?
Beef and spices.
Looks like you've just been down to the dog park.
Andrew. So typical, my dear, so typical. Anyhow, all right, so here we go. Very quick and simple dinner on the table in half an hour. Really seriously easy. The flatbread is what it's all about. Look at them, just perfect and taste amazing. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to strip some lettuce. Put that in there for somebody else. And I'm just, because I just like a few extra herby things going in here. You put down there whatever you want. I've got some mint, and coriander is not traditional, but I'm a big coriander fan. The sausage is going on. A bit of the tzatziki, that garlic and cucumber dip, which is lovely. And Andrew, you can have a bite.
Yeah, there's too much green stuff in there for me.
On,
no. Go on. I don't know what the other stuff you put in.
What?
What's that other stuff? What's that stuff there? What's that other stuff?
Oh, you will love this.
What is it?
Coriander.
I hate coriander.
You know how much I cook and use coriander. You know how often Andrew eats coriander and loves it.
Okay, come on then, give us a hand.
I cannot believe you said that.
Okay, I'll take it back.
How good are flatbreads? Flatbreads.
I'm still chewing. Good.
No, I know you're going to add like Kewpie mayonnaise that we've made in the Thermomix and all sorts of other stuff on these, but anyhow. So a nice easy recipe, but flatbreads, just remember those basics. Same amount of Greek yogurt to self-raising flour. If you're using plain flour, you add 1 level teaspoon for every 100 grams to make it in.
That's good. Okay, all right, I'll take it back.
To make it into self-raising flour. Thank you, darling, for leaving me some. And you just basically use the Thermomix, fluff out the flour to get rid of any lumps and bumps and incorporate air, add the yogurt, dough mode for 1 minute, and bob your uncle into the fry pan, medium hot pan, and just wait for the bubbles to merge. Take a peek underneath and then flip it, and you're going to have the most beautiful flatbread. Seriously, I don't buy flatbreads, I make them. So much nicer. So I think that's everything I need to tell you tonight. I've probably forgotten something, but thank you as always for coming on board, and don't forget, for those of you that don't realise, I am a Thermomix consultant. I have customers all over Australia, so whether you're in Perth or Melbourne, if you're thinking of getting a TN6, please reach out. We'll have a lot of fun on our journey together. Thanks everybody. Say goodbye, Andrew.
Well, just a couple of questions. You had the normal question of gluten-free.
I have never tried them with gluten-free flour. Look, I'm sure you can make them, but you're not going to get the same texture, obviously, because you haven't got that gluten there. I've not made them myself, but there may even be a recipe on here. And you do know that there is a gluten-free recipe for flour on here as well. So, yeah.
The other question is, if you're a vegetarian, what else could you use apart from the sausage? Well, bacon, obviously, can you?
You can actually make, excuse the phrase, a bean version of this. Mexican beans and Mexican flavors, all that kind of stuff. But with flatbread, you load them up with so many things. There's so many things. My mind's gone blank. But even for meal
Mushrooms.
times,
Mushrooms.
But even for meal times, putting down a plate of flatbreads. I know in this house, if I have a meal without a bread component there, if my boys are here, I have some disappointed boys. Let's just leave it like that. Everything goes in a sandwich.
I don't know where they got that from. Everything is made into sandwiches. Doesn't matter what they eat. They even put custard into sandwich.
No. Anyhow.
Flatbreads and rolls, they just devour them.
Love them. But it's a really great recipe. You must try it. Thank you, everybody. I will put a post up in the next few days on my blog with the full recipe. And I will put down a few suggestions for what you can actually...
But isn't that so simple? Just yogurt and flour.
It is, that's it. Yogurt, flour and a bit of salt. Easy.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Bye for now, everybody. Say goodbye, Andrew.
Goodbye, Andrew.